on level 3, page 2, in 4/4 time, how many beats is a whole note, a dotted half, a whole rest, etc. So you'll be able to do that by yourself. Now we're getting into something a little more advanced now, and it's talking about scales. Now I'm going to play on the piano a C scale for you. Now just going up, what they want you to learn is that between one note to the next is either a whole step or a half step. When you come on the bus, or even at my home, if you do the computer game number 18, it will explain to you whole steps and half steps in a scale. Now the F major scale, let me go back to the C first and explain it to you. From C to C sharp is a half step. C sharp to D is a half step. So if you want to go from C to D, that's called a whole step. C, skip over C sharp, D, that's one whole step. D to E is one whole step. E to F is a half step anytime you don't have a black key in between. So this is a half step. It's much closer than a whole step. Listen. La la, here's a half step. La la, so you see the difference. So now we have a half step from E to F. From F to G, we have a whole step. G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, and then a half step. That is the pattern for every major scale. And what it is 2 whole steps and a half, and then 3 whole steps and a half. So if I ask you, what is the pattern for scales regarding whole steps and half steps, you will say that. 2 whole steps, or whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Over here they want to do the F major scale. F to G is whole, whole, here's the half because it's going to B flat. You have B flat in your F scale. Up to C is a whole step, whole step, whole step, and look, E to F is a half step, so there it is. Whole, whole, half, so you're going to write W or H. And over here now, they would like you to know where the half steps are. So they wrote it this time in the bass clef, and we don't have to play it low, but this is an F. I'll play it here again, then G and A. Now here's the half step from A to B flat. So you're going to write a curved line like this, and that's called a slur, okay? And so these are going to identify your half steps. So you remember start, whole, whole, half. Whole, 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 half. So you're going to make the next slur up here. And I'm not sure, I think underneath is fine. And so there's the other half step. Now, one thing I'm so happy to get into now is your identification of key signatures. You started out with the key of C scale, C major scale. Do you remember? Did it have flats and sharps? No. No flats, no sharps in the key of C. So you look for the key signature that has no flats, no sharps. There's a treble clef with nothing next to it. There's a bass clef with nothing next to it. Now, the next scale you learned was 5 notes up from C. Remember, you did the circle of fifths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wherever your pinky was when you played the major scale is where your new scale started. So the G scale had 1 sharp in it. Do you remember that? There's a sharp there and there's a sharp there. So you're going to identify C major, F major, G major, and F major. And remember, we just did F major over here. So there's the flat, the B flat. That was one of the last scales you learned. You had to play 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's because you can never put your pinky or your thumb on a black key in scales. Only in scales, not on the chord, not on any chord. You could always use your pinky and your thumb. But in scales, that's how you avoid poor positioning of your hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4. No, no thumb or pinky on the black key. I'll ask you that sometime. Now we're going to draw bar lines here. So 4/4 time again, 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to figure that out.